Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 53. Oh, well, you know what this is about? It's almost about to happen. It's almost Christmas, but you still have a few days to make your wish list. Or maybe after Christmas wish list, if you get money for Christmas, that you could buy yourself. And of course, that is amateur radio and scanner radio toys for the big boys like us and you, me and you, the big boys. So, I'm going to do a review of 5 more items just in time for your Christmas holidays and mine. These are on my wish list. So here goes. Okay, here's the first item that been looking at this for quite a while. I think it was last year when I went to the Orlando Ham Fest. They were introducing this radio, and it looked pretty interesting. And what it is GRE, who makes scanner radios for Radio Shack, for instance, has come up with their new digital trunking handheld scanner. And the beauty of this radio is that it's basically computer based in that it has a microcomputer in it, and it does have a 2 gigabyte SD card in it, and it comes with the radio reference database from the radio reference website, which has all the scanner frequencies you'd ever want throughout the United States. It comes with that database, that whole entire database loaded. So it's there ready to go. And you can do an update, because the database they probably loaded is, a little bit old. So you can go online, do an update and get the latest stuff. And the other radio like this that I had been looking at, which is the predecessor to this, it's the predecessor plus it was analog only, not digital, was the Model 700, which is on sale right now at Radio Shack for I think like $120 or something like that. But keep in mind, it's only for analog. It does do trunking, but only analog trunking. And the situation where I live, which is in the Tampa Bay area in Florida, specifically in Pinellas County, they are finally starting to go digital, and my older scanner radios are starting to go deaf. Not totally deaf, but are getting there. So the question is, do I stay with the $129 one that only does analog, that is in this area is being phasing out? Now, in Pinellas County, they haven't gone totally digital. Matter of fact, they haven't gone but maybe 10 or 20% digital, so you still get most of the stuff. But they've rebanded, meaning they've moved what frequencies they used so that the older trunking scanner radios can no longer be programmed for those frequencies, which is what my problem is. So the question is, do I go with the 700, the older version, analog only, which will get me back into listening mode, or do I make the quantum leap and go to the digital, being prepared for the future changes they're making? But as you can see on Amazon here, which is a pretty good price, this puppy is $451. So, any comments or suggestions along those lines, I would appreciate it. But anyway, that's one thing that I've got under my Christmas tree, whether it's a 700 or the 800. I like the 800, but I don't know about 451. That's a lot of money. But there's not a lot of money when you consider that digital trunking radios are in that price range. And this one just happens to have that microcomputer and the SD card so that you've got all, I mean, you don't have to worry about, putting in 100 channels or anything like that. This has got it all. So I hear. Okay, the next item. Okay, why won't this change? Okay, the next item I've been wanting for some time. I actually have this, but it doesn't work. And that is the Yazoo azimuth element rotor, because I do have a set of VHF and UHF beam antennas for working satellites. But my rotor has long since died. The control box, I think, is not the culprit. But this is something I'd like to get back up on the air, and that's the Yazoo Azel G5500 antenna rotor. Okay, the next item that I would like to have for Christmas, which is something I could easily afford, is the MFJ DSP, automatic DSP. Now, you might say to yourself, well, most modern radios have DSP built in. Well, many of my radios, I would say 75% of my radios, are not modern radios. Matter of fact, many of them are tube type radios, and they don't have any DSP. Now, the other option is to hook up a computer to the output of the radio and use a DSP program that's on the computer. But I have a lot of radios, and what I do is I have them go through a mixer, and that way I can bring several radios outputs into the mixer, and then one output, which I could then go to this DSP tuner, or filter, I should say, filter. So anyway, this is one thing I'd like to see under my Christmas tree this year, is the MFJ 784B audio DSP filter. Now, again, on any of these items, if you have any comments, or you have any suggestions, or you have experience with this, please let me know. I'm kind of throwing these things out here that, I've seen them. I haven't really tried them. I don't know anybody that's used one. So I'm kind of in the dark here of what to get for Christmas. Okay, the next thing is not this particular one, because I couldn't really find the specific one I wanted, but I need a new good base scanner antenna. The one I had, which is probably about 15 years old, all of the ground radios have broken off due to storms, and so it's not very effective. So one thing on my list is a new scanner antenna, base scanner antenna, and this is an example. It's amazing how simple these are made, and this one is one that's not too pricey. I've seen some of them up to $200. This one's not too pricey. Again, I've never tried it, so I don't know how well it works. If anybody has used this, can give me some comments or feedback, I greatly appreciate it. Okay, now we jump into the Cadillac stuff. This is something I've drooled over in its predecessors for years. And what I like about this radio is this display. You got the dual tuners, the spectrum display. I love that. I use software-defined radio software to do this for me. on my PC, but the big downer is it's not real time. This is close to real time. So this is the ICOM IC 780, or excuse me, 7800 version 2. Now, if they made, and I don't know that they do, and I've been hoping for years they would, if they made this guts of this radio in a receiver only, I'd love to have it. I'd love to have it. That would bring the price down to maybe under $1,000, which is kind of my limit, $1,000. I don't really need this fancy transceiver, but I really would like to have this capability in a receiver. If anybody knows of one like this, let me know. Okay. Last item that again has been on my list for years. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it. It's kind of general purpose. Well, it's a general purpose. They call it a shortwave receiver. And it's, granted, it's smaller than the 700 they made, which was a behemoth as far as size. I wouldn't call it portable at all. But I'd really like to have, to try it one time. You know, maybe I keep it for a while and maybe I wouldn't like it. But the Grundage Satellite 750 shortwave receiver, it also receives air, the air band, which was something I'm interested in. And the universal radio price is $299. So that's something that I could let my wife or kids buy me. So anyway, that's the 5 items for Christmas that I'm looking for, plus the 5 that I showed you before. So my kids and my wife have a big selection. If I win the lottery, I'll just buy them all, but that probably won't happen. So thanks for watching. Again, any of your comments are welcome. Have a happy holidays. And this will probably be the last show for this year, so we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.